You know, all this talk about work just reminded me I had to stagger into the kitchen to get some Advil because work beat the crap out of me today. Oh, honestly, I probably should still be at work. I got home like, a little under 3 hours ago, but I probably should still be there because tomorrow I'm screwed at this point, so. Oh, whatever. It's all good. Oh, man. Let me get my headphones. Hang on, guys. You know, I'm one of those weird people. I swallow all my pills all at one time. I don't know. It's probably not smart. I could probably choke or something on it, but I typically like take a drink of something, then just kind of toss them all in there and wish for the best, you know? All right. Hey, guys. Hey, Mari, Joe, DB, Patriot. Yeah, dude, I put on Discord just for you guys that I'm both live and alive. Since apparently I've done that in the past. If you're going to be screwed, no point in taking a pounding early. That's what she said. All right, let me see here. See, I went ahead and did herbal tea tonight, so I'm not going to be like super wired. Hopefully I'll actually get some sleep tonight, because I have to get back up at the ass crack of dawn tomorrow and get to work, because my day tomorrow could end up being very, very, very lengthy. Unfortunately. Especially when you have dozens of pills. Well, I don't have dozens. It's more like when I'm taking... If I'm taking like Tylenol or ibuprofen, I just want to like toss a couple in there and get them over with, you know? If my... If my profile photo was my face and my channel name was shorter, more people would sub. I don't think so, Mari. People subscribe when they watch a video that does well. When I have videos that don't do as well, people don't subscribe. And that's just kind of the nature of how things go. Plus, I'm not a live streaming channel, despite the name. Most of my somewhat decent success in the past has been from videos, not from live streams. So... See, Patriot knows, he gets it. What are you guys doing? Come here. What's up, puppy? What's up? Hang on a second. I gotta go check on my oldest kid. He's got some coughing fit or something. Herbal tea? No, man, it's only because there's no caffeine in it. Give me 1 second. I'm going to go check on my kid. Make sure no one's dying. Be right back. What's going on? Don't do that, okay? You have to set up the drink. All right. Oh my god, my brilliant 12-year-old tried to drink. He tried to drink water down the wrong pipe. Oh my god. Don't kid anyone, your success comes from your OnlyFeed account and all the money Kate has thrown your way. Dude, I tagged him in something on Twitter yesterday or 2 days ago. Oh yeah, somebody made like a meat patty out of their feet. So they made a mold out of their feet, and then they filled it with ground beef and cooked it. And then they were eating it, so like they were eating their own toes. I tagged Kate in this, and he's like, I'm on the verge of blocking you. Oh, man. Hey, Burner. Same for you on X. When I make comments on popular posts, I make jokes, I get followers. When I don't comment, I start to lose followers. Dude, X, Twitter, it's weird. It's strange. Hey, Lucia, I didn't see you sneak in there. It's weird. It's weirder than YouTube. Okay, so I was watching Kilted Cajun's live stream tonight, and he was talking about how his Roblox video actually cost him like 11 subscribers that he lost after people watched the video. Not that many people watch the Roblox videos. I've talked about this before. Not videos that get a whole lot of views. Important topic, very important subject, but just not a lot of viewership. The fuck did I just walk into? Did you walk into the feet conversation? I can't remember. I don't know where we were at when you walked in. But no, so it's funny with Twitter, if you're not constantly engaged and grinding at it, like I got my account to like, you know, around 2,000 followers pretty quickly. And that was like a year ago. And then I haven't gained hardly any. But again, Twitter is just for shit posting for me. I don't really care too much about it. It is what it is. Yeah. Anyways, welcome in, Cage. You know, the herbal tea is not because I'm posh, although I have expanded my horizons. Now I have like 7 different types of herbal and green tea, when at the beginning of this year, I drank none. So at this point, I kind of have to make myself drink something that has no caffeine in it. Oh, Cage, you're talking about what we have on the screen. No, we're not. I'm not playing any games tonight. We'll stream a game on Friday night. I don't know if I'm going to stream Expedition 33 or not, though. Like, game streams are already a low viewer count type thing anyways. And that's not a game that's... I feel like it's not a game that's a whole lot of fun to watch. Well, one of the green teas has matcha in it, but it's not just like matcha tea. So it's a little different than just drinking, you know, matcha tea. All right, so I haven't even watched this before, guys, so I don't know what I'm getting into. Apparently, you all know nose ring theory, like the crazy women with the nose rings. They're kind of like red flags. You got to watch out for them. It says, woman responds to people saying nose ring theory when they see her. First off, I live in Washington. There's lots of women with nose rings. I don't see anybody walk up to them and say anything to them, you know. Dredge, I haven't played that one. Looks really good though. Not trying to figure out the story using the clues because I'm not trying to spoil it for myself, Patriot. I'm enjoying the game and I'm not trying to think too much about it.
I'm going to hold your hand with an industrial paper towel when I tell you that your comments saying nose ring theory are literally doing the opposite of what you think they are.
First off, her eyebrows are so tiny. Now, I get it. I've got like thick, bushy eyebrows, right? But those things are waxed down to like near non-existence.
I want to look this way. I want you to be able to look at me and see that I am a safe space and that I don't tolerate fucking bullshit. I want you to look at me and know, fuck Donald Trump, fuck men, honestly.
I'm so glad I hadn't watched this yet. Because that is beautiful. She's all like pissed off at people for saying nose ring theory like she's unhinged because she has a nose ring, and then she completely acts unhinged. Hey, Smeg, Black Cat, welcome in, guys.
And fuck what's going on in the world right now. Fuck the genocide in Gaza. And fuck anybody who thinks any differently. Honestly. If I'm not for you, good.
Oh my god. Any takers? Anybody? And not just that, not just the nose ring. Actually, she has the dual nose ring going on. But then she's got that little strip of green hair on the side. I don't see any on the other side over here. This is the girl that has that eye popping out. Yeah, Mari, it's unfortunate because a lot of these girls are naturally decent, attractive, cute, conventionally attractive, whatever. I mean, her hair looks like it's thinning. It's probably from her lifestyle stress or whatever. But she'd otherwise be a totally normal looking girl. But then you have that crazy spark, you know? You can fix her. Okay, speaking of unfixable, I just saw this, so I wanted to talk a little bit about the whole Sydney Sweeney thing. After the whole Sydney Sweeney's jeans, backlash because of her jean ad that she did, then we had the bathwater soap thing that she did before that for Dr. Squatch, where they had her Sydney Sweeney's bathwater. Apparently, she said it was mainly the girls making comments about it, which I thought was really interesting. They all love the idea of Jacob Elordi's bathwater. I don't know who Jacob Elordi is. And then if this person says, I think it's a brilliant ad. She's capitalizing off how weak these men are. I mean, I will say it's kind of weird if you're buying her bathwater. Not even going to lie. This quirky form of seduction has always been her strong point. Why shouldn't she exploit it? Wouldn't you do the same? So yeah, this is, I guess, is the ad.
Let's face it, guys only want one thing.
Wish I had something natural instead of this synthetic body wash. Sydney Sweeney, body wash genie?
Dr. Squatch Natural Body Wash for Men. They're tired of smelling thirsty.
Now, first of all, the whole Dr. Squatch thing is super overpriced.
Presents are the best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
People say they love Gaza, why don't they go there?
You know, Lucia, you are not wrong. Thanks for the two, buddy. And see, here's the thing. I live in that wonderful little happy ground where I don't want people in Israel and in Palestine, the whole Gaza conflict, murdering each other, killing each other, committing terrorist attacks, the IDF rolling in and, knocking down houses, taking people off their land that they've lived on forever. And like the whole thing is like, I live here. But what I also don't want is a bunch of Palestinian refugees living here either. So it's like, I don't want to move to Gaza. I don't want them here and I don't want to go there. So yeah, but it is really funny because they act like they stand in solidarity with these people while simultaneously not understanding you would never last a day over there. With your liberal viewpoints, your Western ideology or ideals, if you try taking that there, it doesn't conform, okay? Men don't take baths. No, Smeg, it's her bath water in the soap. That's the thing. It's not for a man to take a bath. Do you know what that sound is behind me? There is no sound behind me. Hey now, But thanks for the 2, Luigi. I appreciate you, dude. They uglify themselves and demand they still be seen as beautiful. What's disgusting? What did I say? Oh, you use Sasquatch pine tar. I like the pine tar soap. I bought the whole like trial size pack at Costco. They had like, 3 of 4 different bars or whatever. The only problem with the Dr. Squatch, like that soap, it's just rebranded soap from a different company. You have to cut it into cubes, otherwise it like dissolves way too fast in the shower. Oh yeah, no. So, Mari, here's the gimmick. There are girls online, a lot of the female streamers, that they'll take a bath and then they'll bottle that water from the bath and they'll sell it to lonely, disgusting, perverted men. I don't know what they do with the water, but they buy the water that the girl sat in, right? So this is a gimmick. This is like, okay, Sydney Sweeney was in the water and then they took that same water and used it to make the soap. That's the whole thing. Kick. Tired of streaming to 0? No, Kick, because I don't even think about you. I mention Costco every stream. Mari, Costco is amazing. Costco is where I go at least once a week. Especially when you have this many kids and you have to buy things in this large of a size. I mean, it's just the only way to go. You don't have that hollow sound? Oh, Burner, no, we fixed it on the last stream. It was my webcam was trying to override the microphone, and so it was picking up both. Actually, I think it was only picking up the webcam's microphone. It was the weirdest thing. That's even more disgusting to make soap out of it. Well, here's the thing. I don't know that it was water that she quote unquote bathed in. Like if it was literally like, okay, here, Sydney, sit in this water, and then we're just going to take a little bit of that and it's going to go into like 10,000 bars of soap. It's not the same thing as these e-girls streamers that are selling it. You got lost both times. Costco has everything except computer parts. If Costco would at least sell them online, my life would be made. My life would be complete. With the streamer thoughts that fart in the jar, cap it off, and sell it off for losers to huff like their favorite bong. Careful, man. I can't talk about that on Twitch. Half the girls on Twitch do that. No, Costco's awesome. Costco is like the mecca for white guys, Oh, yeah, that girl was just another person on the internet saying me. Yeah, exactly.
Sydney Sweeney. Holy coconuts! It even smells natural!
And it's moisturizing. At the end of the day, they just want to crack open a natural one with the boys.
Sydney Sweeney! Body wash genie!
Dr. Squatch body wash. For men who prefer...
See, again, look, I'm not even one of these guys who's like simps for Sydney Sweeney, but I get it. I understand the appeal. After what we've had in Hollywood for the last 15 years, it's a nice change of pace, right? You don't go to Costco?
Do I need to be liked? Absolutely not. I like to be liked. I enjoy being liked.
I wish everything for me was in walking distance.
Liked.
That'd be awesome. Dude, Smeg with the 1 gifted membership. Appreciate you, dude. Gamescom is a shit show, but some good news too, so mixed bag. I haven't bothered watching it, man. I've been catching bits and pieces. I've been so busy at work the last couple days, I haven't had a chance to even actually watch a live stream.
I like to be liked. I enjoy being
liked.
Smeg,
I think you hit the button twice, man.
I have to be liked.
Dude, Smeg with the 2 gifted. All right, cool it. Chill. No more. Okay, you're done. You're cut off. It's commercial, not using her bath water. No, yeah, it's not really. I don't think it's actually her bathing and then them using that water. It's a gimmick, right? Best place to get rice and seasoning, even in Japan, is Costco. Oh, interesting. I didn't know that. So now we have the response. So remember, she had her Levi ad. Now you have the Gap Cat's Eye response. What the hell is Cat's Eye? Does anybody know? Is that a brand? Or is that like I saw people, I started getting like stray bullets from these people. Oh, it's a girl group. Okay, that's what it is. Oh. Okay, Cat's Eye is a girl group based in LA. 6 members. Oh, so they're like active from 2023. So they're like 12 years old. They're in the electronic pop and dance scene. No wonder I'd never heard of them. They don't actually make music. Go figure. Okay, so in case you missed the Gap Cat's Eye response to the American Eagle / Sydney Sweeney. Oh, it wasn't Levi's. It was Sydney. It was American Eagle. That's right. So I guess I'm not going to play this with sound because it's probably a copyrighted song. But apparently this is what they needed to do to respond to American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney, is they got these retarded Gen Zer singers, dancers, whatever. I guess this is the response, you know?
Presents are the best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars.
I'm so old.
As Cartman once said, whatever, I do what I want.
I do what I want. All right, Smeg, I learned my lesson. I'm not going to tell you what to do anymore. Dude, thanks for the 5. Appreciate you, man. All I can think of Cartman is the World of Warcraft episode. Mom, bathroom, mom. It's advertising her soap that includes her bathwater. Yeah, well, no, it's a gimmick. I don't think the bathwater is actually in the soap. I don't understand this. But again, every generation has their random girl group. I mean, look, we had the Spice Girls when I was growing up. Now there's like a lot of the K-pop stuff. I don't even know. Like one of these Stan accounts, some account that had like a Cat's Eye girl in her profile picture was the one giving me shit after I'm like, okay, yeah, this is not going to beat Sydney Sweeney, right? The bucket. What about the bucket? 403. Yeah, 403s. Isn't it 304 or is it 403? I guess if you did 304, you'd flip it upside down. But yeah, that's for the Gap, a place I haven't shopped practically ever. The funniest thing is the top reply is the meme right here. It shows the Cat's Eye girls and then it shows Sydney Sweeney down here and says, look what they need to mimic a fraction of our power. Oh my god. Yeah, it's just sad. It's complete pure desperation at this point. Definitely a generation gap between me and this commercial. Yeah. No, I mean, I think the last time I shopped at the Gap, maybe I went into like Baby Gap for my kid when they were like really little, but I've never even, I don't think I've bought a single thing at the Gap. It's kind of crazy. In other weird news, did you guys hear about this? This Jean Portmanova? Portmanove? I'm not sure how to he's French. I'm not sure how to pronounce his last name. He was a streamer who died at 46 years old. I guess he was a Kick streamer that was part of this IRL broadcast and marathon group where they basically tortured the guy. And he ended up dying of heart failure, sleep deprivation, all sorts of stuff. He had all sorts of health issues. Texted his mom that basically he felt like he was being held hostage, that he couldn't escape, couldn't get out. And they would do things like waterboard the guy or like, I don't know. They did all sorts of like demented shit to this dude for their viewers. And there's some speculation that Kick was actually paying them like lots of money per hour for their stream. They were like the biggest French IRL channel. But yeah, it's absolutely disgusting. Like the shit they did to this guy is unreal. Dude, Kick is terrible, man. I buy my clothes at Baby Gap. I could probably fit into them. Not gonna lie. Oh, Cartman asks, is it a bucket? I thought he says bathroom. His mom brings in a bucket and he poops into it. It's not a bunch of land whales crying big is beautiful. That's true. That is true that none of those girls were at all even close to remotely obese, but there is something to be said for them trying to compete with Sydney Sweeney and failing utterly. Despite pleas for respect, videos from Portmanove's last Kick stream showing moments of humiliation, exhaustion, and violence have spread across Twitter and Reddit. His death has triggered bigger questions about the extreme content meta. Reddit threads and X discussions quickly filled with debates, many pointing fingers at platforms like Kick for failing to protect creators. And again, a lot of people say, well, he's an adult. Why didn't he just leave? Why did he put up with it? And it's like, well, he felt like he was trapped. He honestly felt like he was being held hostage because he needed the money, I guess. I don't know. It's just, it's beyond messed up. You buy your clothes at Bass Pro? Yeah, hell yeah, man. If I could afford to shop at Bass Pro for all my clothes, I would go there. I've gotten some really nice flannels and stuff from Bass. No, it was a group. So basically, he was the one that they would torment and torture and... let me see here. What is this? Well, I want to be careful what I play on here. I don't know if this is after he passed away or before. So he sent a text to his mom before he died a few days. He says, "Hey mom, how are you? Stuck to death with this game. It's going too far. I feel like I'm being held hostage with their shitty concept. I'm fed up. I want to get out. The other guy won't let me. He's holding me hostage," is what he said. So again, metaphorically or literally, it doesn't really make a difference. The guy felt like he couldn't get out. Pretty terrible. Pretty awful stuff. He's 1 year older than I am, but looks at least... He's... Oh, hey, Geekazu. He was kind of disabled, it seems. Yeah, you can look it up on Twitter. The videos of what they did to this guy for, like... again, for attention, for money, for donations, super chats, and all that shit. It's pretty messed up. Like, no, they didn't, like, stab him with sharp objects and all that, but it was pretty dehumanizing, the way that they treated this guy. You're learning the twisted world from my streams. This ain't nothing compared to what actually goes on in the real world. This is like not even... Heard of some of you guys going to Bass Pro to swim. Did you see that video of that dude that went naked in the Bass Pro Shop tank a couple years back? I think that was during COVID even. So that was like a double no-no because he went on, he went into Bass not only not wearing a mask, but he took all his clothes off and went into the fish tank and was swimming around. And then when he got out of the water, he like fell and hit his head or something. Yeah, unfortunately, DB, you're not alone. We all have exposed Mari to a lot of horrible realities of the real world, it seems. So... Only good thing I've ever seen come out of Aiden Ross, I guess, and or Drake, is that they're going to be covering the funeral costs for him. The worst part, though, is... Isn't Aiden Ross, like, a part owner of Kick? Like, isn't he one of the... Dude, this guy is so... Like, he's not just skinny, he looks malnourished. This is insane. Like, super bony. Like, holy shit. Yeah, this guy had a lot of stuff going on, you could tell. You saw him slip and fall. Yeah, I mean, I laughed at first, and then when the reality sets in where you're like, wait a second, that guy might have just given himself a concussion or worse, you know? Oh, I have some company out here, apparently. I don't know if you can see her past... There's a little head right there. She's passed out on the rug. Yeah, when it's not hot out here, she likes to come out here and hang out. That's kind of her spot. All right, enough of this weird, depressing stuff. Let's talk about a lot of video game stuff because there's a lot to go over. So this is one that I kind of cracked up when I saw it today. Couldn't believe it. I'm like, holy crap, this could be a video all on itself. But Randy Pitchford, you guys remember a couple months ago, somebody asked Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox, well, didn't ask, he pleaded with him and said, please don't make Borderlands for $80. We can't deal with another $80 game. We're sick and tired of this. Please don't let it be $80. To which Randy replied, I have no control over the price, but a real fan would pay $80 if that's what it takes, right? Oh, it's going to suck so bad. And I'm saying that as somebody who's never played a single Borderlands game. So again, I have no skin in the game. I don't care. It could be the most amazing Borderlands game that's ever existed, or it could be the worst. I don't care. All I know about Borderlands is everyone who's played all of them says Borderlands 3 fell off. That was the one that kind of ruined the entire franchise. Matt Adam, you're not wrong. He really needs to shut up. This man does not know how to, like... Both feet are lodged in his mouth at this point. So it says Gearbox boss Randy Pitchford has once again commented on the price of Borderlands, which he should stop talking about money. He should stop talking about the price, saying the game would be worth it even if 2K Games opted to charge as much as 5 times more than the actual price of $70. Not even kidding. He previously stirred things up, saying real fans would pay the money. Speaking to IGN, he revisited that discussion, starting off by saying he's a person who enjoys conversing with fans online. He enjoys pissing people off. Let's be honest about that. He says, the sum of all social media talk and the sum of every article written about that doesn't matter. It doesn't. At the end of the day, as all of us do when we approach entertainment, we think about what it is we want and what it is they're asking of us. If we want something and feel like it's a fair price or whatever the barrier is, then we will explore it and we engage in it. And if it doesn't feel fair, we step away. Now, this is him I feel like this is him as a CEO of a game company making excuses for predatory, behavior of studios, you know?
It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey man, I love you, this many dollars worth.
At least Randy was telling the truth.
At least Randy was telling the truth. I don't want to hear corporate speak.
I mean, he was telling the truth, at least the way he saw it. You're not wrong about that. My issue is it just goes back to the idea that they can justify whatever price tag they want to slap on it. Now, again, I kind of said this in my Call of Duty video, which, again, was, in my opinion, one of my worst videos I've ever made. So I apologize to anybody who suffered through it. I was not happy with the result of that video last night. But at the end of the day, I can complain about microtransactions in games, right? But if 50% of the revenue in North America is coming from microtransactions, clearly I am in the minority if I'm the one complaining about it. And thanks again for the 5, Lucy. I appreciate you, dude. But the thing is, I feel like Gearbox CEO of a game studio, these publishers, these developers, just saying a real fan will pay X, Y, or Z, they're right up to a point. The problem is eventually you'll outprice yourself that even your most hardcore fans, if they can't afford it, they're going to tap out and they're going to say, I can't buy it. So unless we want to go back to video games being an elitist type thing where only about 5% of the population even engages with it, can afford it, that kind of stuff, the idea of outpricing your competition or trying to justify, well, whatever the price is, it's got to be worth it, right? I don't know. I think it's a very scummy way of behaving. We'll know in 21 days it's going to be cringe. Yeah. So let's see here. He said, along with 2K and owner Take-Two, they set out to choose prices that feel like a fair exchange to the consumer. He says Borderlands 4 for $70 should feel like they ended up getting the better end of the deal. I think that's a fair way to look at it. Look, if I spend $70 on a video game, it better feel like I'm getting more than my money's worth, which again, Elden Ring was $60. I paid $70 for the pre-order with the silly little whistle thing that I never even look at. It's just a little trinket. And I got the soundtrack that I never listened to. So cool. I quote unquote own the digital soundtrack and I got a little memento. Great. Whatever. But I got more than my money's worth out of Elden Ring. So yeah, I think $70 and up, you really need to feel like you're getting more than your money's worth. Says for Borderlands 4, Pitchford said Gearbox is delivering something with amazing value, adding that the price point discussion online is going to blow over and it's going to be fine. Can I ask you guys who have played the these Borderlands games, because I've never played Borderlands. I have no desire to play Borderlands. Are they that good of games? Like Borderlands 1 and 2, are they that amazing? If Borderlands 1 or 2 came out today and it was a $70 game, let's say visual enhancements and, updates to all that stuff. But if the game itself came out today, would it be worth $70? Like, are these games that are truly worth that kind of the money for the experience? This will further encourage people seeking out cracked versions. Yeah. Hey, Mahendra. They don't take into account the cost for other countries. $110 for Borderlands here for that game. Yeah, that's the thing. There's always going to be a lot of different pricing depending on where you're at. It was fun to play with friends and family. Itself is not a great game, but it's a great multiplayer. Just the first 2, though. Mahendra, you didn't miss too much just going over some silly nonsense, and really this is kind of the first serious topic we're covering, so you're here at a good time. 2 was great. They go on sale stupid quick, though. Okay. DB Wild says no, not worth it. Not $70 worth fun. Okay. If it came out today with the modern graphics but the same story, yes. Okay, so Burner, you really like the game then. peak it to, and it was never that good. Turn your brain kind of, yeah. For me, it always seemed like stuff where you just kind of have to turn your brain off, you know? Good couch co-op game. Hey, Angus. I mean, there's something to be said where even a good couch co-op game could be worth more money if it's something that you really are going to play a lot of. So here's where we get to the funnier part, right? Going back to the price conversation. I wanted everybody to play it. I want as many people as possible to play it. There might be a little bit of friction there for some people as prices go up, but I also know that from a value perspective, they probably could have charged 5 times as much, and it would have felt worth it. So what he's saying is they could have charged $350 for that game, and the game is so incredible, such a life-changing experience, that it would have felt like you got your money's worth if you spent $350 on this game. Okay? I mean, think about that, guys. This man has been huffing his own farts for far too long. I can respect the fact that he has belief that his product is going to be worth more than you pay for it. That's fine. But to actually claim that your game is going to be worth 5 times the retail price, that's nuts. Some people might have been willing to pay that. I don't know if I would have. I want it to be as cheap as possible. So again, talking about both sides of his mouth here. AAA games will always be worth $60 at most, never more. Yeah, Sasha, I mean, that's pretty much my stance on it. I think $60 and below. Look, I've said this before. Indie games, 20 to 30 on the higher end max. AA games, obviously that $30 to $40 window is the sweet spot. AAA games, anywhere from 50 to 60. That's really, keep it under $60. I think for, you know, even like they say, oh, you got the base game and the 90 for the deluxe. I hate the fact that we have to have a deluxe version, but okay, fine. So if you're going to do like an upcharge, then the base needs to be 50 or 60. No more than that. The collector's edition will be $233. That's nuts. That is insane. Hey, Truth. You're not into FPS? I mean, but it's not a conventional FPS game, though, right? It is FPS, but it's gimmicky, as I understand it. It's more, like you guys said, it's more turn your brain off. It's not competitive as FPS. It's not fast-paced. It's not Doom. It's not Call of Duty. It's not, you know, Valorant or CSGO. It's a whole different thing. It's a different animal. 45 for Tainted Grails of Steel. Yeah, exactly. You know, games that you know that you're getting your money's worth because you were addicted to them. You're going back and playing them every night. It's crazy how that works out. It's nuts too. I need to buy somebody a copy of Starship Troopers Extermination. I got that game for free through Keymailer. The first time I streamed it, like last year, maybe that was beginning of this year. I can't remember. I've had it for a while. I got that game for free, and it is one of my most like absolute favorite games to unplug my brain, play it for half an hour before bed, and that's it. So I would happily pay 20 or 30 bucks for that game, as it turns out. Yeah, Truth, I don't wonder at all. I totally get it. And as it turns out, I don't think it's Gen Z spending all the money on the microtransactions. I think it's people who are in a slightly older age bracket, which is kind of embarrassing to me personally, as somebody who's in that age bracket. But yeah, speaking of prices going up, PlayStation 5 price changes in the US. Now, the funniest part, I shouldn't say fun, saddest part about this, is the amount of people who are like, well, you voted for this. It's like, guys, that's not helping anybody, okay? The whole tariff thing, I get it. It sucks. I'm not a fan of having the tariffs increases and shit too. Do I hope it works out in the long run? Absolutely. Right now, it kind of sucks. But it's not just the US that is seeing prices increase, and it's not just because of the tariffs. And PlayStation's already done this in other parts of the world earlier this year where they were raising prices. Prior to the tariffs even kicking in, Nintendo did the same thing. Everybody wants to blame it on the tariffs alone when there are other factors that play into this as well. It's just the craziest, I don't know. It's the whales doing the microtransactions, yeah. Give us Bioshock-style game with weird power, then you'd play it. See, I need to go back and play Bioshock. I really do. Make it no new info since last year's Game Awards. Video games and hardware prices. Let me see. Where I missed somebody's comment, or it didn't come through on YouTube. Borderlands is trash. Outer Worlds is trash. Ghost of Yotei is trash. Save your money. But hey, there's some other stuff coming out that looks good, man. There is some other stuff that's going to be worth it. Now, again, worth whatever price, that's a individual discussion, right? It's about supply and demand. I'd spend a lot of money for a game because the supply is non-existent. Why would anyone spend a lot of money for which there are many alternatives? And Patriot, it's not just the alternatives, it's the fact that there's no physical distribution cost. The way I look at it, it's like, why would I pay more for a game that you guys literally don't, it doesn't cost you anything to give out a million, different keys for it. You're not shipping physical copies of games. It's a key to a game that apparently you can revoke my license on at some point when you decide it's run its course, and basically I'm screwed, Yeah, the biggest factor is greed, and they're using the tariffs as an excuse. Even if the tariffs do play a factor, it's only one factor. That's the thing. They've done it way back in 2022. Yeah, exactly. I have had a copy of BioShock sitting on my computer for months now, and I have never gotten around to it, dude. I am sorry. Look, we talked about it. I got to finish Expedition 33. I need to finish Black Myth Wukong. I need to finish... What else have I started, that I've actually invested time in that I haven't finished? I mean, I've dabbled with Lords of the Fallen. I've dabbled with, the other one. Not Merrick Tominsky, but, what's the name of that game? Hang on a second. I've got it on my desktop here. Maybe I don't anymore. Oh, yeah, No Rest for the Wicked. I started playing No Rest for the Wicked. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, I have to... Even they got DLC coming out for that game. I need to get back to that and actually give it a fair shot. God, Helldivers 2. I feel so terrible that I haven't even barely given that game a chance. Ghost of Tsushima. I played for 3 hours. Found it very enjoyable, but I haven't found time to get back to it, Dawnwalker. Black Myth Shankui. Lords of the Fallen 2. Phantom Blade 0. Now look, I had to Google how to properly say the Black Myth name. So if I'm mispronouncing it, you guys can blame Google. As I heard the translation come through, it was Black Myth Shankui. Again, I'm not Chinese, so my pronunciation is not going to be perfect. If I'm paying for a game, I want to own it, not just a key. Yeah, but unless you're able to get every game on physical, that's just, unfortunately, we're kind of stuck with that. That's the thing too about okay, everyone says how the indie game scene is the best thing ever, and I agree. Indie games, there's a lot of amazing indie games out there. The problem is indie games don't have a lot of times any physical distribution. So for a lot of indie games, you have to play them digitally. Zhang Kui, please play with me, Tsushima Legend. If I can ever get around to actually playing the game, we'll do that. Zhang Kui. I don't think it's Zhang Kui, but I don't know. Like I said, I don't speak Mandarin. So similar to many global businesses, this is from Sony, by the way, we continue to navigate a challenging economic environment. As a result, we've made the difficult decision to increase the recommended retail price for PS5 consoles in the US starting August 21st. So literally tomorrow. The updated recommended retail price for PS5 consoles in the US are as follows. Base PS5 $550, Digital Edition $500, PS5 Pro $750. Zhang Weng, not Zhang Weng. And Mahendra, you're not wrong there. A lot of indie games are going to get caught up in that net as well. It's yeah. Unless we're in Cantonese, which is different. Man, don't even get me started. I'm looking forward to Phantom Blade, but there's a lot of those games that, for example, a lot of people were really hyped about Wu Chang. I wasn't sure about Wu Chang, and then I tried playing it. I'm not feeling it. I know that a lot of people said the game's great. We had that little censorship debacle last week where we found out that they were censoring the bosses where they don't die after you kill them because there was somebody that got butthurt about it. So yeah, there's a lot of things about Wu Chang. I just personally was for me, I'm not getting the vibe that I really want to play it. But a lot of people enjoyed it. But yeah, no, there are a lot of games that I'm thinking positively about. I just hope that hope they're as good as we're assuming they're going to be. Hey, Tekla, GOG is sleeping too much. I mean, it comes down to devs wanting their game on there, but still, yeah. I mean, the problem with GOG is that whenever I've gone on there, I have maybe a dozen games that I got for free from Amazon. because, you know, Twitch Prime and Amazon Prime and all that stuff. And most of them were redeemable through GOG. So I think I've got 12 or 15 games on GOG. The problem is that their library is so small. I don't know that there's many indie devs that have their games on GOG. I'd have to go look. I'd have to check. Spent 2 hours yesterday to beat the Centipede boss. Almost deleted the game. It has a lot of issues. And that's what I've seen from a lot of people is a lot of the issues come down to, you know, bugs in the game, errors, those kind of things. But for me personally, I just wasn't vibing with the game itself. I don't know. Again, that's just that personal thing for me. Nothing negative about the game here. 1,168 for the Pro. Oh, God. That is unbelievable. Where do I fall on this? Was the PS5 a waste of money? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this. And again, I have no horse in this race, no dog in this fight. Like I said, I've moved past the console wars. I don't care where you play, how you play. It's all good. I don't care about exclusives or any of that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, looking at it objectively, and I'm somebody that if they had gotten cheap enough and there was enough good games for a PS5, I would have probably bought my kids a PlayStation for Christmas, and I've never owned a PlayStation in my life. But I don't necessarily think it's panned out for people who bought it, especially people who bought it early. Like maybe if you got it bundled with a game or with an extra controller or something and you're playing like on PlayStation Plus, sure. Maybe you can justify what you paid and you're getting enough value for your money. But personally, from what I've seen, I don't think so. Live Alive, exactly. Collaboration announcement between Capcom and Square Enix on Monster Hunter Wild and Fantasy 14 on... Yeah, I saw something about that. Not something I looked into too much. Just wasn't something that I really cared that much about. Oh, there was a mod that came out to reverse the Wu-Chang patch. The devs are promoting it themselves. Oh, that's cool. So, I mean, here's the thing. I do... that we get into a very strange cultural discussion here, you know? Because a lot of the conversation around, like, Assassin's Creed Shadows had to do with, for example, like, cultural disrespect. God, you're printing a lot of stuff. Oh, you're good. I'm just surprised at how many of those you're printing. And it keeps going. That's a lot of labels. So yeah, with Assassin's Creed Shadows, we had a lot of this discussion about, you know, disrespect towards Japanese culture and history and customs. And I do have to wonder, like, are there Chinese people who feel the same way? Because I guess part of why they censored the boss battles and made the bosses unkillable was because of, I guess, cultural disrespect, if you will. Again, I'm just saying this, like, off the top of my head. I haven't looked into this too heavily. I didn't cover it in a video. I haven't read about it too much. But I wonder, like, if you're going to argue in favor of one, I mean, is there an argument there to be made, you know? You bought it to play Hogwarts Legacy, and then that game was a huge disappointment. That's another game that I bought on a really good sale, and I've never played it. Haven't touched my PS5 in over a year. I got a PS5 fairly early, only ever played PSN games and Stellar Blade on it. Yeah. It's Ming Dynasty purists. Oh, interesting. You know, console wars are a thing of the past, at least in my opinion. There are still people online who try to keep them going, but in general, it's stupid. There's no point. Wu-Chang's not bad. They just need to fix the gameplay. It's a good Souls. Like, I mean, fair enough. Like I said, I personally just wasn't, like, nothing about it grabbed me. So I just kind of moved on pretty quickly. It's been the worst game you've played in 5 years. That's rough. I've heard from Chinese guy that outraged people are clueless netizens of China. I mean, there's something to be said there, too. Maybe if there's not like an actual sentiment from Chinese people that are angry about it, but they're told by the government, be angry about this thing. I mean, we know how that works in other countries too. I mean, there's a lot of undue influence that happens from what you're told, the information you're allowed to read and all that. So, dude, Pal World was fun for a minute for me. I actually really enjoyed it when it first came out. I was just like, you know, it does a lot of cool things, but there are games that do, like, for example, Pal World was like Ark and Pokemon had a baby, right? And I'd rather play Ark or Valheim than Power World. But, you know, it was cool. It was definitely cool. We can thank Helldivers 2 for ending the war. Oh my god, there are so many butthurt people over the fact that Helldivers has a Halo skin. It is just nuts. Just got back from Russia, so yeah, no, that's exactly a lot like Russia. Although, again, I can sit here in the US of A and criticize Russia and criticize China and other governments for all being bad governments, and it's like, I can't stand my own government too. You know? We do have more freedoms, don't get me wrong. Or we at least have the illusion of more freedoms, I should say, to an extent. Let me see here. It was so bad, so racial, so political, and so friggin' boring. Well, that's a bummer. That is really sad. Consoles seem like a bad value now, especially with how sparse the releases are. Yeah, Black Cat, that is the thing. And also, I look at it too, as it's not just the value of, people go, well, you know, you have to upgrade your computer every 5 years. First off, you don't really have to. As long as you're starting with a decent base computer, and then you can upgrade as you absolutely have to. And then you have, with PC, you have a massive library of games at your disposal that are much cheaper than what you're stuck with a console. With a console, you can't play indie games. You can't go on Steam and buy all these different games for $5 on a sale, you know? Those just don't exist. Sure, they have their own sales, and Xbox and PlayStation have their own, you know, like Game Pass and PlayStation on, you know, Plus and all that stuff, but unlike Wukong, which had a huge official launch in China, can't wait for Shangku. Yeah, no, dude, I'm hyped. I need to get, although I've got 2 years. I think Shangku is like 2028 at this point, but we have more freedom theoretically, but we've lost the culture necessary to protect that freedom in reality. Yeah, it's kind of a mixed barrel. Cracker Barrel went woke. Why did Cracker Barrel change their logo? Was it because it was offensive to somebody, or was it just because they wanted to sanitize and look boring? I'm really confused there. You're not hyped for the next Black Myth game saga? Well, we'll see. We'll see what it actually turns out to be, you know? But hey, speaking of, you know, price hikes, you guys can get Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League on sale for $3.26 right now. Deluxe edition is less than $5. That's less than a Big Mac at McDonald's. So, if they make a Doom skin in Helldivers 2, I'm so in. Oh, man. Chinese social media gatekeep from outside. It requires Chinese phone numbers to make social media accounts. Yeah, there's a lot of restrictions. There's a lot. They're known to have crystal hearts, very easily offended, plus the pressure from the government makes people afraid. Game's not officially launched in China yet. Interesting. Yeah, the thing that PlayStation has going for it is what Demon Souls is still not on PC, and we have yet to even have like a proper remaster of it, I guess, or whatever. Again, I'm not a PlayStation guy, so I don't know when the game came out. I don't know how long we've been waiting for a remaster. I don't care personally. Like I have patience like a freaking ox at this point because I have nowhere to go and no time to even play the games I have. That game's an abomination. I have a free copy that you couldn't pay me to play. I think I have 2 free copies of this game. I think I actually own 2 copies of Suicide Squad. And I've never touched it. I think Cracker Barrel just thinks that they're about to move up from Denny's level to replace Red Lobster. Dude, have you guys eaten at Cracker Barrel? Honest to God, I'm not a food snob. I'm very easy to please. If my food comes out half cold, I'll just eat it. I don't complain unless it's really, 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 really bad food. I never even ask to have things taken off my check, right? Cracker Barrel was the worst dining experience in a restaurant I've ever had in my entire life. When we were in Arizona last year, I went and got the chicken and dumplings at Cracker Barrel. And my God, it was the worst plate of food. It looked horrible. It was just white with raw dumplings, cold pieces of chicken that looked like something out of a can of canned chicken. It was inedible. It was the most disgusting plate of food I've ever been served in my life. I couldn't believe it. And I'm just like, send it back. I'm not eating. I'm done. Oh, you found 5 cameras in your hotel room. That's nuts. With Intel acting like fools and the NVIDIA BS, there may be upgrades, but I really can't justify them because they aren't making that stuff that really needs new hardware. Yeah. I'm an AMD guy personally, but that's pure uneducated bias because I've always had AMD. That's it. I don't have any like, oh, here's why AMD is better than NVIDIA or AMD is better than Intel. I just, I just like it, so I'm just sticking with it. Okay, so We have the new Black Myth title. Says no ghosts walk the earth till born of human heart. On stage and off, immortals fall to fiends. Their perfected art. It's just poetry. We're just gonna play the trailer because I actually haven't watched it yet, and it's not really a gameplay trailer, obviously. Where's the little thingy? Where's the little? Hang on.
You ain't even trying. It's all...
Here we go.
Help me here. You ain't even trying. It's all me. Look at that belly of yours. Where's the mountain? Hey, you're falling fat, losing again.
Drop that coswallop. Master will take us back, as long as we keep that mountain in our heart.
Hey. No scolding, no flogging, life spared. No risk going back. This place, we've got food on our table and... They're coming for us.
It's a freaky looking dude. It's a big kitty. No, my cat snuck off. I imagine that the musical or that the game will be good. So, let me see here. An Oni? No, so hang on. Pretty sure there's mythology behind this guy also. I just looked it up earlier. Zongqi, let's see here. Taoist deity in Chinese mythology, traditionally regarded as a vanquisher of ghosts and evil beings. He is depicted as a large man with a big black beard. So he's a demon slayer, basically. I mean, that could be pretty badass. Like, it could be a really, really cool protagonist for the game. Better than Ghost Yote, right? It's like when Goku goes to heaven and Dragon Ball meets King Yama. That doesn't mean anything to me. I know nothing about Goku. So I'm just gonna sit here and nod and go, oh, okay, cool. That's great. All right, Mari, get some sleep. You know, I know what an Oni is. It's more like I didn't know what Zongqi was. Fighting was fun. The broom riding was interesting, but that's the most you can say. What are we talking about? The Hogwarts Legacy game? Or did you actually play the Quidditch game that they had? AMD seems to be the choice these days. At least I can see the performance compared to my NVIDIA cards. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I went with. When I bought my new graphics card, I've always had NVIDIA, or, well, actually, I've had AMD. My other two computers are 4060s. But I was kind of like, you know what? I like my AMD card. Oh, that's right. Dragon Ball was inspired by Wukong. You're right. Yeah. I remember hearing about that. Brother from another mother. There you go. All right. So what else we got? We've got, apparently there was another look at Gamescom at Blood of the Dawnwalker. It apparently, like, I looked for the trailer. I guess they didn't really show much more than they've already shown. But people are saying it's going to be basically be like a combination of Witcher 3, Kingdom Come, just like a variety of games kind of smashed together. So hopefully it's going to be good. I've got a lot of hope for this one. It'll be nice too because, you know, ever since the series, the Legacy of Kain series, I haven't really played a very satisfying vampire game. Blood Rain was good. I remember Blood Rain, the first game was pretty good. I can't remember if the sequel was any good at all or if it was complete garbage, but I'm looking forward to Dawnwalker. I think this will be a fun game to play. And then, of course, With vampires, we've got apparently this game, The Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Now, I think I own a copy of Vampire the Masquerade. Either that or it's a free-to-play game. I can't remember. I know I've got a copy on Steam. And this has been apparently an interesting trailer. It's almost downvoted like ratio to this point. I haven't watched it yet, so I'm seeing this the first time too.
So weary is the wanderer that treads on the fertile soil.
Oh, the movie was terrible.
Your reputation is legend.
The city flowered in fire, and in fire shame your end.
Don't listen.
You know what she reminds me of? Oh, that's a terrible place to pause. She reminds me of Joanna Dark from the Perfect Dark game that they scrapped. The image I used for my thumbnail, well, I'll show you the picture in a minute. She has the same, like, very butch, very masculine, very large face as Joanna Dark.
Now, this is something. Fire, can you... Oh, guess I found my body.
Detective, is there something you need?
How's the case? Hot leads, cold bodies.
It's a woman.
Plots.
Oh my, I think I know what you are.
They say trouble comes.
Where is the microphone? All right, let me know when it comes back. Oh, we're good? Dude, I don't know why it's doing that. No, Tekla, it's not me. It's, for some weird reason, since 2 weeks ago. I don't know if it was a Microsoft update or something happened. My microphone that I've had now for, what, a year and a half, I think I've had this thing. It's the HyperQuadcast. It doesn't have any drivers that it has to install. It just uses the native drivers. I've looked at, I can't find a driver to install to, like, update. Randomly with Streamlabs, it'll just die. And I guess from now on, I'm just going to have to unplug it and plug it back in when it happens. Yeah, no, it's not YouTube. It's not the microphone specifically. It's something going on between, I don't know what. But unplugging the USB plug and plugging it back in seems to fix it right away. So, Windows 11. Windows from hell. Yeah, I'm gonna play the rest of this real quick, guys. Oh God, hang on. Now it all makes sense. 5 minutes in the stream on mute last week. See, this isn't a mute problem. I've been there, done that. Especially because I don't have to do any, like, hotkey to mute it. If I want to mute the microphone, I mute it. It's that easy. Microsoft sucks, dude. Remind me of what you were saying in your long rant about Sile being a lesbian. What was I saying?
Trouble comes in you.
But yeah, Windows 11. It's ass.
You are not the only one who has had strange dreams. I see a garden, and I have met someone.
But that would mean...
Who is he?
It brought you here, my fire. My fire.
Pre-order now, no thank you. It's probably going to be on Game Pass day one, I imagine. Wouldn't shock me one bit. Yeah, I'm not digging the art, not the art style, like the animations. Like, it's all in-game footage, which is fine, but like when you see the characters talk, it looks kind of rough. And it's also, it's almost got more dislikes than likes at this point. Windows 95 was peak. I've got Windows Vista or Windows, I can't remember which one it is, on an old computer at my work. They don't know how to make a woman. Yeah. DB Wild says Windows 10 and 11 recently had an update that uses AI to help control streaming audio through a microphone. Oh, well, that might be something to do with it, because my computer did recently update like last week or something. Right around the same time this started happening. Millennial woman addicted to Twilight wrote this. Oh, God. Oh, no, Smeg, you're right. They actually they showed the game with gameplay footage. That is exactly the way a gameplay trailer should be. I just don't personally have any use for the game. So, Empress, God Empress of Mankind Nure, as we know her, watched 2 hours of Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2, and it's so much worse than I imagined. Right off the bat, it's woke. Now, if she's calling it woke, you know it's going to be bad, because she's very lenient when it comes to, like, LGBT stuff in games and pronouns, and she's very, very much, she's not a conservative. She's not a right-winger. She's very much a center liberal person, right? So if she's calling it woke, it's got problems. Female, is that Pyre or Fire? I'm not even going to pretend to know which way to pronounce it. Is written as a butch lesbian. 4 out of 5 key NPCs are strong female characters. Say what you want, I call it like I see it. The writing unbearable. NPCs do non-stop lore dumps because the devs assume the modern audience has never heard of Bloodlines. No character creation. You're stuck as Pyre, Fire, basically Rook with extra steps. Supposed to be an elder vampire out of touch with modern society, but she dresses like she works at Hot Topic. Fabian, the sidekick, is slightly better written, but he never shuts up. 5 minutes in and you want to have him staked. Gameplay is linear as hell, no exploration, no side quests, no alternate paths, just the illusion of choice via the cursed dialogue wheel. Every option is the same sentence reskinned. Combat, a discount Dishonored. I found Dishonored to be kind of boring. I'm not going to lie, guys. You're probably going to hate me for it. I tried going back and playing Dishonored last couple of years ago. I don't know, it wasn't very interesting. It wasn't very exciting to me. Fire, okay, thank you. I wasn't really listening to the trailer, so I wasn't quite sure how to pronounce it. Love the first Bloodlines, it looks like utter trash. No blood, too clean, can't create a character. I just didn't like that everything was all hazy. I didn't like it was all murky, like it was really impossible to say, to see what it was going on. Jump to Blood the Dawnwalker if you want a new vampire game. Agreed. That's going to be the one. That's really going to be it. No, Dawnwalker's not devs from KCD from Warhorse. Dawnwalker is devs from CD Projekt Red. It's a lot of guys who worked on Witcher 3. Actually, KCD or Warhorse Studios poached a couple of guys from CD Projekt Red as well. Rebel Wolves is primarily people from CD Projekt Red. There might be somebody from Warhorse Studios over there, but Warhorse hired a bunch of people between their first and second games. Everything that was once made by White Wolf, Vampire the Masquerade, World of Darkness, Werewolf the Apocalypse has been completely ruined by Paradox Interactive once they bought out the property. Guys, have you noticed, like, everything, once it gets bought out, is just complete and utter shit? It's crazy how that works. This isn't an RPG, it's a generic single-player action game in vampire cosplay. Bloodlines 2 is Veilguard 2.0. Same characters, same plot devices, same corporate sanitization. The Chinese room should have just made a new IP, forcing this into the Bloodline setting, gutted everything that made it special. What's left is mediocrity in every direction. Look at this face. Like, I'm gonna just hide myself for a second. I mean, look at that thing. And look, guys, here's the thing. This is going to be me with my anti woke side coming out, okay? Can I just kind of let me be anti woke for a second, and then I'm going to revert back to my normal stance. I'll be the first person to tell you that unfortunately a lot of times with people like us, a lot of us who are anti wokeness, a lot of people go to the extreme where they don't realize that in real life you will encounter people who look like this, or that are just ugly people. Because ugly people, androgynous people, non-attractive women that have masculine features, they do exist, right? They absolutely do exist in the real world. And unfortunately, a lot of people lose sight of that because they expect everyone to look like Sydney Sweeney. Now, on the flip side, back to reality here. Now that I've gotten on that soapbox, when it comes to a fictional video game, fictional characters, why would you prop up the people who don't embody the feminine characteristics or the masculine characteristics? Why would you prop up the people who aren't as desirable, who don't look as attractive? Why would you create characters from scratch that don't hold the ideals of what everybody strives for, you know? That's the thing. It's like, I can accept that there are women that might look like this in real life, and that doesn't bother me because I'm not married to one of them, you know? But at the same time, it's like, why is this everything we're getting? It's always this. It's always this. It's always this, right? Looks like Ruby Rose from John Wick 2. It just looks like a butch woman. A butch, masculine, ugly woman, you know? If you sell the studio, they just run into the ground and close it down. Yeah, it sucks. They'll buy the studio, they get a massive influx of money, they'll bring in a bunch of help, overcomplicate the process, put out a game that doesn't do as well, the game flops, the studio then gets shut down, and they absorb half the people that they hired in the process into their, parent studio, and then get rid of everybody else. It's this retarded, vicious cycle that it all feeds into. Yeah, they can't advertise to the male gaze, that's it. But women want to look at pretty people too. Women want pretty women. Women want to look at handsome men. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? Androgynous people don't go out of their way to look androgynous. You're right, Black Hat. That's exactly it. That's the difference between reality and what these people's version of reality, where they exist, you know? I can't think of what Ruby Rose looks like off the top of my head right now. So Quillpig, I was a big fan of the Legacy of Kain games back when they first came out. Loved them. I think I've played 3 or 4 of them. Fantastic games. Even the one on the GameCube was pretty good, even though it was kind of a departure from the other games. I think it was on the GameCube. I think GameCube had one that was, at the time, was an exclusive. Kind of like how Resident Evil 4 was an exclusive at the time. But that being said, I don't think that they age very well, you know? I just don't think that... There are certain games that, even like, when I saw people playing the Soul Reaver remaster, I'm like, that didn't look that good. I don't know. You know why? Because the devs after this Paradox leaving RPGs are all together. Yeah. It all feeds together. Oh, my kids love Luigi's Mansion 3. I think that's the only one that they have, but they've beat it a couple times. So then it gets better because Bloodlines fans apparently are mad that Paradox has locked 2 playable clans behind $30 DLC. Quote, is Paradox smoking crack? Now, yeah, I love it when games release with DLC right away, right? GameCube had Legacy of Kain. That was it, yeah. No, I played Soul Reaver also. I played Soul Reaver on the Xbox. Because, again, we had both. We had the Xbox and we had the GameCube. Just never had a PlayStation. Finish line's finally in sight, yet Bloodlines 2 is somehow still tripping over its own feet. I wonder what's causing that. Oh, God, look at this character. I mean, a little bit of work. A little bit of work and they could have fixed this character up. It wouldn't even be that hard. You know, it really wouldn't. But unfortunately, just woof. Just a just a butterface, to be honest. Big news on Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. Years of waiting, blah, blah, blah. Who cares, who cares, who cares, who cares? It'll let players select from 4 different vampire clans out of the box. Bruja, Tremere, Banu Hakim, I don't know what that is, and Ventru, each with its own distinct abilities and styles of play. Malkavians are sort of in there too as a kind of alternate personality named Fabian, who emerges as a playable character. The Lasombra and Toreador, however, will only be available as DLC, and it ain't cheap. Bloodlines base game is $60, while the premium edition is $90. And there it is. So they did right by having a quote-unquote AAA game launch in that $50 to $60 window, but instead of just like, okay, launch it with everything included, or maybe just, you know, charge an extra $10 for some extra stuff. Oh no, $30 extra. $30 difference. Absolutely insane. Not a boob man, but the boobs look wrong on her. They do. It's very flat, very unappealing. Pictures of Fabio, the most beautiful man in the cosmos. 110 USD at my place. Oh god, that sucks. Sydney Sweeney's White Supreme articles and clips used her photos in the lead. I'm not quite sure what you mean. Problem with hiring activists, DI developers, and people who just shouldn't be there. They may get the game made, but they won't wow anybody. No, they won't, for sure. So we went from 12 clans to 6, and 2 are behind a pit. Did you guys have 12 clans before? Because I never played the first one. Were there 12 playable clans? That's insane, man. So this is essentially like when you're doing Elder Scrolls, and you're selecting what race you are and what, you know, basically your background and all that. That's what we're talking about here. That's what they're locking behind a DLC. That is so messed up. Like, holy shit. Yeah, so you've got Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 locks 2 clans behind day 1 DLC. So you've got your pre-order bonus is a nostalgia jukebox featuring music from Rick Schaefer. Okay. Then you've got full experience, the base game. Then you've got the Santa Monica Memories for deluxe and premium. And then Shadows and Silk. This is the extra special version. Has the playable clan, the discipline training for outfits, another clan for outfits. Imagine pre-ordering and paying the $110. Well, I guess it's, what is it, 60? How much is deluxe and how much is premium? Like, I imagine it's 90 and 110, right? Yeah. 13 clans originally? Damn. Yeah, I mean, I've always heard of the game, but it is very much more of a niche game for sure. Hey, Vernum. Paradox said they're not going to make RPGs anymore. I guess they want to suck blood from this title before they dump the whole game. Nice pun there. A little tongue-in-cheek. And because it won't sell, they'll come to the conclusion that no one wants to play VTM, not the conclusion that they're making very dumb games. Dude, this is the same shit, different day. Oh, she's back. She can't make up her mind. Typical cat. Ivy, psst, psst, psst. What are you doing? Ah, screw it. She doesn't care. She doesn't care. Wanted her to come say hi, but she's just going to lay there and ignore me. Too much deluxe edition bundle. Just put Ubisoft Plus. Is that game going to be on Ubisoft Plus? The Book of Nod states the different Bloods of Cain were in the number of 10 and 3. This may be mistranslated. It could have been 10 by 3, meaning 30 original clans lost to time. Right, okay, but taking the lore of the game aside, how many playable clans were there in the original game is more my question. Like, did you have the option to choose from 30 clans or 13 clans, or was it only, 3 that you could choose from? So you've got Sven Vinka from Larian. What does Larian have to do with Bloodlines? Are they the publishers? I'm so confused right now. Saying the game's going to be big, really cool. Delibrium says when the developers for the game are saying the game is not sharing a lot with the original, and it's being developed under budget constraints, that's not a good sign. That's the thing. This game's had a lot of ups and downs in development. Game's been in development hell for a decade, but it's okay to be out of the loop in Sven's case. 13 sounds about right. Publisher's Paradox. Then is it... What does Larian have to do with it? Is this guy just commenting on the game? His shirt says Bloodlines 2. I assume Larian has something to do with it. Wow, this is an old game. When did the first game come out? I remember seeing this at freaking like Office Depot, like you could buy a physical disc. Am I crazy? Dude, I gotta look. Hang on a second. When did this first game come out? I stopped caring about that when Paradox Shoot Away Troika, which made the original a very long time ago. Yeah, no shit. I'm like having like massive flashbacks right now. First game has 7 playable. So it had 7 clans you could play from. Came out in 2004. Holy crap. Well, okay, and you create a vampire character. Choose from unique abilities and weaknesses, navigate a world of vampire society, political intrigue. So, the first game, you could pick your character, and it seems like you're stuck with this. Oh my god. What a terrible picture. Oh man, this isn't doing her any favors. I'd hold it up on my phone, but you guys probably couldn't see it. They have the straight-on picture of this chick from Bloodlines 2. It's so rough, it's not even funny. And I legit have bought every single VTM CYOA game Paradox is released in spite of the woke BS, and them I'll not buy this. Now that I would play, I mean, I'd rather play that than whatever the hell this new thing is. You can get the OG for like $10. It's technically the first game using the Source Engine. And it had a character creator, and this game now removed most of that and some clans. That's just insane. Why do they hate things? Now, here's another one I saw. This just a quick deviation. This game, Sword of the Sea, was trending on Twitter for some reason. Was this at the Gamescom, guys? I'm trying to figure out. I know it's an indie game, but I have no idea why this is trending. Someone says, on a brighter note, just finished Sword of the Sea. Incredible experience. My game of the year so far. Short runtime. I've never heard of this, and all of a sudden now it's trending on Twitter. Is it just like a surfing, skiing game? I like what... See, I've never gotten into games like this. If it's just like pure vibes and that's it, I mean, that's cool. Bloodlines 2 chick have opposite issues from Ashley St. Clair. This Journey game sequel, but for mobile. Oh, okay. It was a pretty sexy game, a lot of G-strings poking out. Guys, I gotta tell you, the early 2000s, so I was born in 86, right? And I went to college early because I went through the program where you can enroll in community college while you're still in high school. And so I was like 15, 16 years old when I first started taking community college classes, and that was in the early 2000s. And that, my God, that was when the whale tail thing was a craze among college girls, teenage girls, where they'd all have the thong hanging up out of the pants. So when they sit down, their butt cheeks are hanging out. That was quite an eye-opener for somebody who was raised very sheltered at like 16 years old around a bunch of people that were probably 8, 9, 10 years older than I was. Good times, not gonna lie. But yeah, the same era, same time frame that game came out was that whole, the whale tail craze, as they called it, you know? I think this one is the same people who made Journey to gaming experience. Too much artsy fartsy. I can feel that, I can see that. But again, sometimes it's nice just to kind of unplug and just enjoy things, you know? One playthrough's enough? Yeah, that would definitely be the issue with that. Bloodlines 2 originally had a character creator that was removed halfway through development. Okay. Okay. Well, that would make sense then. All right, so still sitting at number 1 comment on Black Ops 7, you've got this guy that said it's the actually made me pre-order Battlefield 6. And the funny thing about this that I noticed when I was trying to get ready for my video last night, and I totally forgot to include this shit. Like I said, I hated that video that I put out, so I'm just gonna rinse and repeat and move on. Some of these pictures, you got the Act Mam here saying, it's hard to believe these images come from the same franchise. And it's true. It's so freaking true. It's not even funny. This explains like so much of the reason that Call of Duty gets catches so much shit these days. Only about 2 to 3 hours. Nothing wrong with that. If it's a cheap game, you know, whale tail, quite literal in some instances, yes. But 20 plus years ago, we didn't have, you know, the average 400-pounder just waddling around. Okay. Yeah, whale tails have a different meaning now, exactly. She was playing the radio from the OG and it was like GTA raunchy. That's hilarious. Oh, I appreciate that, Lucia. I don't know. I felt, here's the thing. I'm transitioning, guys. I'm trying to spend less time churning out videos and more time talking about things that I actually find interesting. And in that, I need to find time to figure out doing a little bit more scripting. And if not scripting per se, I need to have my thoughts put out better, like laid out better. Right now, though, I'm about ready to lose my mind with work. And so I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. So we're just going to be winging it for the foreseeable future. Land whales were a rare breed back then. Yeah, even in Washington, where we've always had high percentage of fat people. That's just Washington, man. I mean, that's just the way it goes. It was way more rare back then. So you have this modern Warzone account. Again, it's a Warzone news account. Says, during our visit to Treyarch for Black Ops 7, they made it clear to us that they are keeping a close eye on community feedback about skins and cosmetics in Call of Duty, leaning too far to the wacky side. Keep giving your feedback about it. They are watching, right? This is the shit that we have in Call of Duty nowadays. This is the reason that nobody can take it seriously, right? This is just complete garbage. Tom Henderson from Insider Gaming says, what they meant was buy our game on launch because we hear you until Season 1 when Carry Forward is implemented and our most obscene licensing deals to date come to fruition. Reply to Act Man with 2 of his own reacts on games versus politics. I hate Seth Rogen. Dude, I think everybody hates Seth Rogen at this point. I mean, I know there are some people who thought Will Ferrell was funny. I always hated Will Ferrell. But freaking, my God, Seth Rogen. If I could just, like, erase 1 or 2 or 3 actors from Hollywood, like, you guys never got to be in any movies ever again, Seth Rogen would be one of the ones at the top of the list. You know, I've thought about that. And actually, Smeg, what happens is, as I'm going through the course of my day, I'm thinking out loud things that I would say the way that I would say them. And then I get to the very end of my day, the kids are finally in bed, I'm sitting at my computer at 9:30 at night, and my brain is mush. I have all my videos put together for the actual video itself. I have the tabs brought up on my browser. I've got the screenshots that I need for a video. But my thoughts are no longer there. They're no longer properly formulated, you know? COD's now being developed by hipsters, millennials, and Rick and Morty fans. Oh, God. While sipping spiced pumpkin lattes. Want to go back to COD 4 days. CDB, that's why we get along, man. Will Ferrell, I've liked in maybe 1 or 2 movies. He was actually fine in the Lego movie. I liked his character as the dad and as the villain in the Lego movie. I thought that was fine. And then there was Wedding Crashers, which I thought was awesome, but I hated him in Wedding Crashers, but you were supposed to hate him. The funnier part, though, guys, is you have all these accounts, like these massive esports Call of Duty guys that are all like, Call of Duty's back, yeah! Then you got this other guy, he's another Call of Duty creator. He calls himself the CEO of Call of Duty, Jacob Hale. I don't follow esports or the Call of Duty scene, so I don't know who any of these people are. But they're, I guess, apparently big, somewhat important people. Funniest thing about all this fake posing for internet points is that Black Ops 7 numbers will far exceed that of Battlefield 6, and those who buy both will almost revert back to primarily playing COD after a few weeks. A good Battlefield would be fantastic, but we all know the end result. Basically, he's on the on the side of nothing ever changes, you know? Now it's transformed from woke to only slightly gay. There you go. Jim Carrey in The Mask is fantastic. Number 23 is a pretty incredible movie, too. There's a few other Jim Carrey movies that are really worth watching. Liar Liar. Liar Liar is one of my favorite, like, all-time comedies. That movie is so damn good. So good. I don't know. I look at Rick and Morty, I'm like, I didn't watch The Simpsons. I tried. I couldn't stand it. Family Guy was good up until a point. I never really cared for American Dad that much. Rick and Morty, for me, I feel like it just goes like beyond SpongeBob levels of retarded, so I just can't make myself watch it. I just can't. Truman Show was also good. Yeah, no, Jim Carrey, it's not just like he has to do like serious roles. And of course, I mean, he was good as Robotnik on the Sonic movies. I just wasn't the biggest. Like, I thought the Sonic movies were all like a 7 out of 10. I didn't really love any of the Sonic movies that much, but they were all fine. They were good for what they were, you know. Okay, what do we have from Gamescom that we haven't even looked at yet? Let me pull up Gamescom, because I know that we've got Ghost Diote somewhere in there. I kind of wanted to look at that too, because I didn't even look at what that was about. Let me see here. Yeah, American Dad was fine. Never watched Cable Guy, never saw it. Did like The Mask and Truman Show? Yeah. Once Bitten. I've never seen that one. For cartoons, Avatar, Last Airbender, Gravity Falls. Yeah, but now you're getting back into like, you know, the difference between anime and cartoons. I know it's one's Japanese and one's American, but for me, for some weird reason, I always think of Avatar as just more anime, you know? Was Blades of Glory good? I didn't see that one. Did I miss your text? Hang on a second. What'd you say? Who wants to clean hard drive storage for Call of Duty slop, which has over 100 to 300 gigabytes? Yeah. Okay, so Mahendra, now you're... That right there, thanks for pointing that one out. That right there, honestly, is one of the core issues I have with the Call of Duty franchise as a whole. I think the last Call of Duty Warzone game, it was like, what, 140 gigabytes of space you had to clear up? It was... Maybe it was closer to like 120. I remember Stalker 2 was like 140 or 150, which is insane. And then the game ran like garbage. I could probably play the game now with my new graphics card, but like at the time, the game was so bad. It's getting close to bedtime. I'm okay for a little bit. We're good for a bit. Me, Myself, and Irene was great. That's one that I heard mixed opinions on. Once Bitten, though, I gotta look up. Look up Gamescom cares for... Oh, that's what I wanted to look up. Okay. Didn't they have some, Wasn't there some shit? Okay, oh no, it's Alex had that. Gamescom, my top picks. Here, this is from a year ago. That's not the right one. Hang on, I'm gonna probably have to find it on Twitter. Give me a second, because Twitter is not. I'm interested in season 2 of Fall. I liked this show for what it was. I didn't hate it, so I'm curious about it. I'll be curious to see how it goes. Let me look it up on Twitter. The best clips are no longer on YouTube, they're on Twitter. You just gotta be careful because Twitter's got the P and the V everywhere. Gamescom highlights 3 games promoting democracy. What the hell? Tell me there's a video for this. Earth Girls Are Easy. I feel like I've seen that one. Earth Girls Are Easy. That one's actually... Yeah, I think I saw that one. That one's going way back. Just play indie games, 5 to 40 gigabytes at best. Yeah, it's true. Gamescom was boring. That's what a lot of people are saying. Again, I didn't watch it for myself. Delta Force was 170 gigabytes. Oh my god. Look at the mixed opinions on the Fallout show. That's hilarious. Let's see what the redeemable thing about it. It's inconsistent, unfunny, reference to the lore, poorly written. What are we talking about? Oh, the Fallout show. I like some of the characters. It has a page on their main site with their DEISG crap on it. I know, I'm just looking for the video, though. I'm not seeing... There's a video here. Okay, this is the actual video, it would seem. Hang on a second, here we go.
Let's talk about Gamescom Cares, our platform for responsibility projects here at Gamescom that we hold very close to our hearts. This year, we are giving the stage to highlight one of the many great initiatives. It's dedicated to all the games promoting democracy. We invited a developer to learn more about it, and I'm here with Jörg Friedrich, CEO of Paint Bucket Games from Germany.
Can I just say democracy's retarded?
Hello, tell us about the game you made, The Darkest Files.
Hi, thank you. In The Darkest Files, we tell the true story of Fritz Bauer, who was persecuted by the Nazis and forced to flee Germany, only to return after the war to fight them with the sharpest sword of democracy, the rule of law. It shows how quickly a constitutional state can become an unjust state.
That sounds incredibly boring. Oh my god, Mahendra. This is so bad.
And how this leads to darkness. But it also shows that we cannot simply stand by and watch. When this happens, we must take action.
Indeed. There are other examples like your game playable here at Gamescom, such as Glass House by Flat28 Collective from Italy, a story-rich CRPG set in a lockdown apartment block at the dawn of a world war. And Compensation Not Guaranteed by Team Project Lunch from Singapore, a document checker thriller about a post-colonial country from the perspective of a government official worker. So, Jörg, can you tell us why these games are so important and so impactful?
Well, games are more than entertainment. Like any great art form, they reflect our concerns, our fears, our hopes.
No, games are entertainment. Games are entertainment. You can put whatever messaging you want into the game, and that's fine. You can do whatever, like, politics and your ideologies and all that crap. You can put all that in there. It's always been there. Some, worse than others. But if it's not entertaining, people couldn't give two shits. Like, that's, at the end of the day, that's it. If your game sucks, nobody cares.
And what preoccupies us. Democracy is under attack right now. Minority rights are being violated, and the world is becoming increasingly interconnected. So games are a powerful medium for addressing these issues, and they have the potential to inspire change.
Again, this is the problem. This goes back to last year when all of us were covering Sweet Baby Inc. and all the activists and everything else. This is exactly what causes this. You get people who are thinking about, we can affect change through games. No. You can write an interesting story. This is like the whole topic of Star Wars was always political. No, Star Wars had its own politics. You can try to find correlations between what exists in the real world and Star Wars, and if you really can extrapolate that out of whatever, that's on you. Fine, cool, great, awesome. But at the end of the day, it's about telling a cool story, and you can use allegories or comparisons or, whatever between our politics and theirs to kind of like relate to people, right? To give them something that they can relate to. But your first job is to create an interesting, exciting, worthwhile story to tell. Your job is not to affect change. It's entertainment. It's a game.
I am glad that not only are many people in the global games industry engaging in projects like this, but also more and more institutions like the European Commission or the United Nations.
A very important message. Thank you so much, Jörg. And of course, thank you to all of the dedicated developers around the world who put so much heart and soul into those games, making the world a little better. Please check them out, everyone, and check out all the great initiatives.
Cool. Video games that nobody ever played and nobody ever heard of made the world better. That's great. Looks like a deer in the headlights. I mean, he went there. He knew he was going to be on stage. It's like what hopes and fears were in Evil Zone, what political hopes and fears were in Zone of Enders. Yeah, the global homo BS stuff. Yeah, no, for real, dude. It's just, it's beyond cringe. I don't understand. So in The Darkest Files, players interrogate witnesses and suspects to expose the truth. The protagonist, Esther, can visualize different versions of events when gathering testimonies by using her mind's eye. Oh, God. Wow. Wow.
Presents are the best way to show someone how much you care. It is like this tangible thing that you can point to and say, hey, man.
Beyond cringe. Holy crap.
Many dollars worth.
Yeah, bring back gatekeeping.
Good.
Exactly.
It's under attack. Cope, and seed.
Dude, honestly, that's the thing. It's like we need... There's a fine line you have to walk between constantly obsessing about like, oh my god, I saw a brown person in a game. That people did this with Expedition 33. This was when shit really started to fall apart among a lot of the, the anti-woke side of things, was when they saw some brown people in a fictional universe that was loosely inspired by, a certain time period of France. And they're like, oh my god, brown people, woke. And they're like, oh guys, please, you gotta stop. This is the kind of shit when they start cramming stuff, again, agendas first over entertainment, over quality, over value. That's when you need to worry, and that's what the kind of crap that needs to be called out. Look, do I want to play games with gay characters? No, I don't want to play a gay character. I've already said that before. I don't want to play a game that promotes homosexuality. I'm not into that. That's not my entertainment that I want. Am I here to destroy every single game that has it in it? No, because to each their own. But stop using it as a way to cram your own personal beliefs into other people's heads. Like, nobody else needs to agree with your politics, your worldview, your ideology. Make an interesting story, and if it's entertaining and people want to play it, they'll purchase it, they'll reward you with their money, and you can continue on to make other games. If you're not good at your job, it doesn't matter what your ideology is. It doesn't matter what your politics are. If you're not good at it, just stop. She isn't using her third eye. It's the weirdest thing. Like, is it Kabbalah type shit? And thanks for the 5, Lucia, dude. Appreciate you, man. We need to bring back gatekeeping. But not the actual gatekeepers with Visa and MasterCard, right? Yeah, not those gatekeepers, Mahendra. They're the ones who are. It's so funny. The whole anti-censorship, anti-woke, anti-this. Unfortunately, what happens is a lot of us fall under like the same umbrella despite having differences of opinions. A lot of the games that get criticized by organizations like Collective Shout, I would never play. Never. Yeah, you wouldn't catch me playing those games ever. I'd rather die than, play some of the disgusting stuff that's out there. But you kind of have to allow it to exist, because otherwise they're going to come and say, well, now that we've taken this game out of, commission, well, we don't like Doom because it has demons, and we don't like this game because there's guns, and we don't like this game because there's, sexy women, and we don't. It's the slippery slope that's beyond it's no longer just an expression. It's a reality, Check out how many people played it. Hey, Mr. Hardcore Mode. Dude, I can't believe you're still awake, man. You were like the biggest night owl ever. If I know the lore, what lore? What are we talking about? Let me scroll back up. 1992 space movie. I'm not falling for that one. Not falling for that one. Yeah, my favorite game is Validate. You guys remember Validate? So how many people did play this? Let's see. Darkest Files. Let me move my bottle of water so I can actually do my thing here. Darkest. What a terrible name for a game, too. That's retarded. The Darkest Files. Steam. Was this even a game that was available beyond, like, Steam? Was this a game that you could even get on console? Oh, that's so bad. Dude, there are 17 people in game right now. All-time peak of 200 players 5 months ago. That's rough. KCD2 broke anti-woke for me. First Senate broke Gooner Gators. Now with Visa, MasterCard, and collective shit, and internet censorship on Rise, scary times. Yeah, dude, it's unfortunate. Like, there's always going to be situations where a lot of people who see things differently, or at least have different political, moral, ideological worldviews, they're going to get along for a while, and then shit hits the fan, and you start to just see your differences, and sometimes there's no way to get around that. Like, again, people who are like, yes, collective shout's good because they're going after the porn games, and you go, okay, if porn games stopped existing, would I shed one tear? Not one bit. I don't play those. I don't find them to be good, helpful, useful. You know, they don't benefit anybody. But again, then you get into the discussion of what is your definition of porn. There were people that called First Descendant porn, and it's not even softcore. And you go, at some point you have to be like, dude, back the fuck off. You know, dude, I need my coffee for tomorrow. I'm gonna wake up, make myself 2 cups of coffee because I got, oh my god, my mom. She hasn't fully retired yet, and I'm working on getting her stuff that she needs for work this weekend. And she's like, "How bad is it?" I'm like, "It's bad." I'm like, I didn't even bother like going into detail. I'm just texting back. There's a lot. Like my day tomorrow is gonna be hell. 2 p.m. Oh, you're doing your afternoon coffee. Okay. Japanese VN can do much better than this. Yeah. Don't mind them existing, but what I mind is the fact that it keeps getting EU funding, which is from my tax money. Bring back camp guards with German shepherds. Oh, man. If they successfully censored GTA 6, video game industry is done. That'll be really... Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys remember. Collective Shout is responsible for helping get Grand Theft Auto 5 pulled from, I believe, Walmart and Target in Australia. Now, despite things people say online, because a lot of times people say shit online that they have no proof of or they know nothing about, GTA 5 was not banned and it is not illegal in Australia. What happened was Target and a couple other retailers voluntarily pulled it out of their stores because moral panic, right? All right, Patriot, yeah, I'll be out of here in a second too. So GTA 6, no matter what Collective Shout does, is not going to get banned in Australia because, first of all, we all know GTA 6 will not be as unhinged as any other previous GTA title has ever been. The world we're living in now, GTA 6 is going to be sanitized as fuck compared to the previous entries. It's just an unfortunate, unavoidable reality. Now, again, for me personally, not a GTA guy. Don't care if it exists. Don't care if you enjoy it. That's cool. I hate to see them tone it down for anybody's weird modern sensibilities and whatnot. But if GTA 5 and the previous entries aren't banned in Australia, Collective Shout, they're not going to do nothing about it. They can't. There's no way. Rockstar is spending close to $1.5 billion to make this game. They are not going to get it banned anywhere. The only place I could imagine it being banned, Saudi Arabia, North Korea. That's probably it, you know? How come they don't censor Last of Us 2, Baldur's Gate 3, or Dragon Age Vilgard? I mean, you know why, Lucia. You know the reason for that. It's the same reason that, going back to last year, all the journalists were praising Hades 2 for having fat, wheelchair-ridden, androgynous, gay, trans-looking characters in the game because it was the right kind of hot. It was the safe horny, you know? Yes, it's going to be like South Park, still fun, but only making fun of one side. It's really funny, Geek, because I don't watch The Quartering anymore, but I have seen that his videos have been on the decline as far as views. Actually, for a lot of people, YouTube has been kicking everybody in the nuts. It's small channels, big channels, them changing their views and then the AI verification, it's affecting a lot of people's views on their actual views on YouTube. So I don't feel safe about YouTube. Like, I don't think I'm going to get banned. It's not that. I think YouTube is in for some bad times coming up here. So it'd be fun to kind of watch, see what happens. That being said, he was covering the whole South Park thing, and I'm like, okay, fat neckbeard from Wisconsin. We all get it. South Park, they hate Trump. They're going to make fun of Trump. You're covering it is just going to make more people watch South Park. Like, if you don't like their opinions on Trump, don't watch it. I mean, I couldn't be bothered to watch South Park at this point. I know it's not going to be as fun as it used to be. I look at it and go, I just have no reason to watch it. I don't. I thought South Park was fun back in the day. The movie was super unhinged. It was absolutely hilarious. But at this point now, it's like, why would I even make... I don't have time to watch things or play things that I'm going to enjoy. Like, making myself suffer through something. Like, for example, when Season 3 of Rings of Power comes out, my wife is going to make me watch it because she knows that I'm a massive Lord of the Rings fan and she enjoys me suffering, I guess. I don't know. But, like, I didn't watch Ironheart. I didn't watch Echo. I didn't take the time to watch any of that shit. I just don't. All right, good night, Mahendra. No one watches Quarter Pounder. Well, less and less people. It's interesting. But I don't know if it's just less people watching him or less people having their views actually get tabulated on YouTube. It's very strange. Still fun, but it is what it is. Right, Geek. That's kind of the thing. Yeah, it's the sad reality that the most that you're going to hear about South Park isn't how good the show is. It's going to be, these people think it's great. These people are angry because it's stupid. Nobody can enjoy anything, you know? He likes South Park. He was complaining about the quality, not the target. He's a lefty that's reluctantly move right. His takes are all over the place, dude. His takes are all over the place. I've never unsubscribed from the Quartering because it's not. I was never mad at Jeremy, like, oh, I hate you. Too many coffee. The coffee commercials. Yeah, they're too much. He doesn't make his own coffee. He gets it packaged third party. That whole thing, it's a scam, or it's not a scam. It's a sham, I guess I should say. It's a private label. I'm in the food industry. I know how this shit works. That being said, I still watch his stuff from time to time if there's an actual topic that's worth watching, because I like to stay up to date on anything going on. And days like today, I'm busy as fuck, you know? Is Rings of Power watchable? No. Okay. Rings of Power Season 1 is terrible, but there's some sick enjoyment you can get out of it because of how bad it is. Season 2, just boring. Just unbelievably boring. So as somebody that didn't grow up on Lord of the Rings, but once I watched the movies, then read the books, then got into the lore and read the Silmarillion and the Lays of Beleriand and all the other books that I've read, once I got into all that, and then I saw Rings of Power years later, I'm like, this is shit. This is terrible, you know? Rings of Power is just flat out not worth watching. It's not worth the time. Dude, the Season 2 finale is such dog shit. Holy crap, it is so bad. Like, they butcher it. Everything's wrong. The timeline is wrong. Characters are wrong. The events are wrong. The reasons behind why things happen are wrong. They get everything wrong, you know? The Carmelo Anthony stuff. Yeah, he's, like I said, he covers stuff that once in a while, yeah, nobody else is covering. So, dude, it's okay to be a Lord of the Rings nerd. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Yeah, Geek, it's honestly not worth the time. So they put Gandalf in Rings of Power. They never call him Gandalf until like the end of the second season, but you know it's Gandalf the whole time. They call him the Stranger, right? That was the only interesting part of the show. And the funniest thing about that is he wasn't there. Because it takes place in the Second Age, and in the Second Age, the Astari hadn't actually walked Middle-earth yet, so Gandalf wasn't in Middle-earth until the end of the Second Age, beginning of the Third Age. And yet they have him get to Middle-earth. He doesn't know who he is. He has no memory. He doesn't know his name. It's like, oh my god. But he was still, the Gandalf part of the story was the only part that I found interesting, even though it was wrong. It was bad, you know? Oh, Doctor Who got so bad. I didn't watch it, but covering all that shit, oh my god. With Ncuti Gatwa. No, but Avernum, they called him Gandalf in the second season. So, yes, I thought it was because they didn't have the rights to do it, but they actually did call him Gandalf at the end of the second season. He found out his name. So, most modern shows, especially those based on older established properties, are only made to destroy our beloved vision. Yeah, I mean, it's all there to shit on everything, you know? Hobo Gandalf. It was funny, man. It was hilarious because, like, they had girl Frodo and girl Sam, and they were so cringe, it was impossible. And then, of course, all the hobbits were the Harfoots because they couldn't say hobbits because they weren't called hobbits at that point. They were all racially diverse. You had the Indian Harfoots, white Harfoots, black Harfoots. They had the same thing, black elves, black humans. Now, again, this is one of those things where you go, it's a fantasy world. You have to accept that there's going to be racism, there's going to be isolationism, you're going to have nationalism. You're not going to have race mixing between humans, elves, dwarves. I mean, hell, they had an orc family at one point where the orcs don't want to fight, they just want to have a home. This is how retarded this show was, okay? Well, Avernum, you're not wrong, because we all speculated that from the very beginning, was that they didn't have the rights to say it. They didn't have the rights to do it. That was what we all believed. That's what we were all told, right? They didn't purchase the rights to the Second Age. It was only the appendices of Return of the King. But then they dropped the name Gandalf in the second season. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah, but the Harfoot thing was they couldn't call them hobbits, or because hobbits weren't mentioned. Well, no, they could call them hobbits because they purchased the rights to 1, 2, and 3 of the books and the appendices of Return of the King, I think. Or was it just the appendices? I know that they didn't have the rights to do the Silmarillion. Thank God they couldn't do that. That would have been so bad. Orcs are a-holes. Yeah, what's with that? I haven't watched Clamfish TV in a long time. I need to shoot Neon a message. I asked him a while ago because I'd ordered some books from him, and he was saying they were having printer issues. He offered me a refund. I'm like, no, dude, I'm not mad. Like, dude, don't even, like, you guys are, you're cool. I trust you guys. I've bought stuff from you before, no big deal. But I know they were having, like, printer issues and stuff on their reprints, so. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it a night since it's not super late and I can still get a decent night's sleep. It wasn't just Grand Elf with a retarded accent. No, it was Gandalf. They call him Gandalf. Oh, and Tom Bombadil. Oh my God, Tom Bombadil was like the one who trained Gandalf in the frickin' second season. And before I go to bed, because I have to bring it up, Tom Bombadil was in the wrong freaking region where he never would have been, as opposed to like living in the forest where he runs into Frodo and Sam in the first book. He's living like on the edge of civilization out towards like the desert and shit. Okay, it's so bad. It's so terrible. Oh, the BBC is just such a freaking... They need to fully defund the BBC. Dude, the whole show sucked. But it was kind of like when my wife and I, years ago, finally decided to watch the Twilight movies, because why the hell not? And we thought the first one was so bad it was hilarious. And then we watched the second Twilight movie and we're like, oh, this isn't funny. This is just bad. Yeah. At least season 1 was so bad it was kind of interesting. Season 2 was shit. Oh my God. And then the Numenorians. Again, a society of highly powerful, long-living humans living on a freaking island with advanced technology and damn near having mystical, magical powers, okay? And the entire group of them, they were all stupid, and they were all racially diverse and multi-ethnic and stuff. It was just, oh my God. Lost Movie knows trash, but anyways, yeah. No, dude, honestly, Call of Duty looks so bad. But I say that as somebody who's not one of those ones that has to have, like, every new version of Call of Duty. I've owned, like, 2 or 3 Call of Duties in my entire life. I just don't care that much. If a game seems interesting, I'll play it. If it doesn't, I'm not going to play it. It's simple. I have no loyalty to a franchise or to a title where I feel compelled, oh, I have to buy the next one. The only game that I am truly excited, like pumped about a sequel on right now, Black Myth, obviously, it's probably going to be really good. But from a game that I really loved that was, I think, underrated that a lot of people just didn't care for, Mortal Shell. Mortal Shell 2, I am going to be buying that one as long as it looks good. If they have any sort of like, you know, problems in development, that'll be disappointing. The game should be awesome if it's anything like the first game. I loved Mortal Shell. Again, kind of a Dark Souls-like game. So that one I'm pumped for. But yeah, I don't really feel compelled to purchase a game like I have to give a certain studio my money. I've never had this sense of studio loyalty, like I have to buy a game or I have to support a studio, you know? Now I want to read Tolkien. Dude, for real. I need to figure out time when I can actually read, guys. I haven't sat down and read a book. Last book I read was earlier this year. I got through... crap, what's the name of that book? It's written by Moorcock was the author. No pun intended. That's his name, Moorcock. Michael Moorcock. It's the book, the character that they inspired, that Geralt was inspired by. I think Mortal Shell is going to be good, dude. If it plays like the first game but better, I think it's going to be good. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Woobsoft wouldn't mind another Factorio DLC. Dude, Factorio is the craziest game because that game is never on sale. I remember when the developer behind the Factorio years ago came out and said, yeah, I voted for Trump. If you don't like that, piss off, right? And then he just was like, buy my game or don't care. That game has never gone on sale. It's the craziest thing. I'm like, that man literally stuck to his principles, said, whatever, piss off. And he's never had to put his game on sale. It's the crazy thing. Elric of Melnibone, yes, that was actually a decent book. The only problem is there's like 7 of them. Wholesale plagiarized. We'll say heavily borrowed, okay? Took massive liberties with. But there are differences. There are some differences, obviously, between the, like, when I haven't read The Witcher yet. I need to go back and read some of the Witcher books. On paper, just playing Witcher 3 and then reading Elric of Melnibone, I believe is how it's pronounced, there is a little bit of difference in the characters. Especially in like the way that they treat humans and outsiders in the book. It's a little different, but yeah, no, I see the comparisons. I see where they definitely were heavily inspired by the book to write The Witcher. So read The Cat in the Hat once. That's all I need. Green Eggs and Ham. That was my go-to. My favorite one to read my children at night though was Red Fish, Blue Fish. That book was a tongue twister. God, I've read that book so many times over the last 10 years. Holy crap. F. Redneck Fist. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Razor Fist at this point, dude. Like, I don't know. Oh, I didn't see your first comment. Geralt was inspired by... Again, I don't know. I see the comparisons, but I do think that they are slightly different enough that it works. Oh, it wasn't a thing here yet due to the USSR. Oh, okay. Okay, I got you. No, I want to go and actually read the Witcher books for myself. I've heard from people who have read them that they're very dull, very boring. I don't know. I still want to give them a shot. But yeah, that's all going to be dependent on whether or not I can actually find time to freaking read. Yeah, we're still here. I know. This is what happens when I'm able to get my stream going and then done before like midnight, is I'm just decompressing now. And it's like, okay, cool. We just chatting now. All right. I'm going. All right, guys, you're awesome. We'll probably play a game on Friday night if I feel up to it. And then, oh my God, I got concert on Saturday night. We're going to go see All American Rejects, and then Sunday, my kids start fall baseball for the next 6 weeks, so that'll be interesting. Yeah, chilling is good. I'm gonna go watch Just Shoot Me or some shit before I fall asleep. Primal Hunter. All right, well, I'll add it to my list of books.